We are live. I just
welcome,
said that.
welcome. And we're done.
To me. You're not listening.
I'm not listening to you. We're trying to welcome the people to the Burning Ape, and you're just trying to ramble
Yes,
on.
welcome to the Burning Ape.
The Burning Ape.
Podcast number 2. Even though the first one isn't even out yet.
That's right, the Burning Ape podcast. R.I.P. Harambe, or whatever the fuck his name is.
You might never hear this one at this rate.
That's true. I mean, the last ape that got national attention got shot, so...
It's true.
Alright. So, what's on the agenda today, you might ask? Well, then we are in the same boat because I am asking the same question.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Oh, we're introing beer stuff.
Yeah.
So, as you may have noticed, or as you will
This is a
know,
really good sandwich.
Great. They're not a sponsor, so don't bring them up. But
No. They make a damn good sandwich.
They really do. They're a great game played, Little Havana. So we're talking about beer for a little bit here. So I am drinking from the Sixpoint brewery in Brooklyn. In Brooklyn. You can tell we fact check our shit pretty thoroughly. I'm drinking from Sixpoint in Brooklyn, the Puff IPA. It's delicious. I don't really have any beer expertise to be able to say how it's fucking good. It's good. It's a 9.8% beer. It's pretty up there as far as I'm concerned. It's an unfiltered ale. I bought it because the can looked cool.
That's how most life choices are made, you know.
Cool looking cans.
Yeah.
I made a lot of uncomfortable decisions based on how cans looked.
That's fair. And I have. Yep. That happened. I have.
There's some of it right there.
Yeah, the Roast, which is a stout with coffee added, made by the Henniker Brewing Company from good old Henniker, New Hampshire. If you don't know where Henniker is, if you've ever been to Pat's Peak, you've been in fucking Henniker. There you go. Problem fucking solved.
And Henniker, I'm pretty sure if you Google it, that's the one.
That's right. And it's in collaboration with White Mountain Coffee. You've probably seen their... You've never seen their stuff. Anyways...
Not a coffee drinker, and people who want...
Apparently this is good for 2 feet of snow. Or having with a bowl of beef stew. So you just get two ends of the spectrum. Or with 2 feet of snow eating beef...
if you see 2 feet of snow eating beef stew, fucking turn and run. Although, what if you use the 2 feet of snow, get you a good chunk of it, boil that down, make the stew with the snow water? You might be drinking, like, dirt at that point. Dirt, meat, potatoes, carrots, celery, asbestos. You don't really know. Or if you're in Flint, you're getting, fluoride and lead.
Wow.
You never know. We're just going to offend as many people as we can. So I think we got gorilla lovers and...
Gorilla not lovers.
The Michiganites at this point. The Detroiters? The Detroities? The Detroitettes? I don't know. I'm not sure.
That thing?
The homeless. I'm not sure which. I think it's the same thing. All right. So and then, it's weird talking about last week that we still have sitting on the hard drive.
Yeah, it's here. I'm staring right at it.
So we were talking, we have much to talk about from last week, there's much change since we talked about last week.
I don't remember what we talked about last week.
Great, good recap. So.
And it's not even really last week, it was 3 weeks ago.
That's true. Let's not point out our untimeliness already. Oh, we're eyeing the gorilla incident that I've already brought up handful of times. That's a really loud chair.
Yeah, good old gorilla.
Good old gorilla incident.
Just being a gorilla.
Being a gorilla dragging a toddler through a river. At that point, so the people who are upset that we shot a gorilla.
No, I didn't shoot the fucking gorilla.
Okay, we didn't shoot a gorilla. Neither Nick nor I shot a gorilla, which we didn't even introduce ourselves this time. But whatever. So if just in case you're living under a rock in a gorilla enclosure and haven't heard the story,
I'm Nick, by the way.
That's Nick, and I'm not. So the story is a parent of some child. I assume it's a parent. I don't know. The child itself.
Apparently.
Oh, I get it. It's not good, but I get it.
I hate it as much as you do.
Some young child wandered into a silverback gorilla enclosure. And I'm not even sure which zoo it was.
Was it Ohio?
Was it Ohio? Yeah, because...
I'm going to type in gorilla in Google.
All right. He's letting you people know exactly what he's doing to fact check mid-podcast here. So...
Harambe!
So see? a small child wandered into the enclosure.
Cincinnati. It was Ohio.
Okay.
With the Bengals.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a tiger.
Those are in zoos.
The Bengals are in the zoo? They should be training. Anyway.
Well, I mean,
Shut
it
up.
is Cincinnati.
So the gorilla looked like it was protecting the kid. Also dragged it through the river by its ankle,
Did he pull
I
out his
think.
gat?
The gorilla or the kid?
Both.
I don't know. I didn't see any weaponry produced.
Oh,
But they ended up shooting the gorilla to death to save the kid.
yeah.
Now, people are outraged. I get it's an endangered species. We probably shouldn't be shooting them willy-nilly. Few things.
Wow.
One, it's already in captivity.
Mm-hmm. We're going nowhere.
We already grabbed it.
Well, we caught that.
We probably shouldn't be grabbing endangered animals if we're going
That's true.
to protect them. Anyway, and it had a kid. Now, it might have protected it, or it might have swung it into the wall at Mach 2, making a sandwich out of the poor fuck. We don't know.
That's true.
I'm far from an animal expert, as you may have already gathered.
Yep.
But I think the alternative of this gorilla accidentally ripping this child in half was much worse than shooting a gorilla. Thoughts, Nick?
There was a gorilla involved. A boy, bullets. Gorilla's no longer alive. Boy's okay.
Well, when you put
It's
it...
an awesome story to tell at show and tell.
Hold up. When you put it that way, that's a phenomenal origin story of Gorilla Man, because I'm pretty sure it's the same exact way that Batman existed.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, think about it. It's show and tell. I mean, it's not really much to show.
Dude, that story's gonna get him...
YouTube.
That kid's gonna get so much ass when he's in college.
So much tang.
Oh, man. So what's your life story? Well, I got attacked by a gorilla when I was 4. Then his head exploded.
That's a panty dropper right there.
I'm wet, so, I'd fuck this kid when he turns 18. Whatever? Are you kidding me? He survived gorilla demolishing. If you get, a piece of that, then you're alright. And, you can get a piece of that. I think he's 4 right now, so maybe a little messed up. But when he's 18, so in 14 years, this joke's gonna be a fucking zinger.
Wow. Let's skip that one.
Okay. So we need some...
Hold on.
So
We're gonna take a moment of silence.
quick moment of silence.
What a great one.
Mr.
Ali.
Mr. Muhammad Ali, the greatest. The man who's floated like a butterfly.
Tyler, shut the fuck up. We're giving him a moment of silence.
We gotta give him a good introduction.
Okay, alright.
And then we can give him a moment of silence. The man who's... I just say stung like... No, fuck it. That man stung like a butterfly and stung like a bee. He stung hard. We'll give him a quick moment of silence.
Alright, so, anyways.
That man has earned some respect. So we decided we gave it. We had to give it to him. So we will move on and make this podcast a little more lively. I had to bring it down a little bit, but now we'll make it more lively. We'll bring it back with some football talk. So last week we covered the NFC East.
Yes.
The NFC East. So this week we're going to be covering the NFC West. We're going to start off with the redheaded stepchild of the NFL, the Cardinals. So I have no input in the Cardinals right now. Nick, what do you got to say about them?
So the Cardinals, very interesting team. They took what's his name there? My favorite pick of all time, Robert Camdici. There we go, Camdici. He was the guy, if you don't remember, I told you about that said with his rookie money he was going to buy a Panther.
Ooh. Did he buy a Panther?
I don't know. But he's the same defensive tackle that Bruce Arians had to tell he needed to stop bench pressing the other rookies.
This is a fucking college frat movie. This is American Pie in 2016. This is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean he's an absolute freak, and they've been combined or not combined. They say he resembles Darnell Dockett. I don't remember that big mammoth jamma.
The name sounds familiar. I can't say I'm super familiar.
I'll be honest with you. The Cardinals are a scary fucking team now. Their defensive line is incredible. Now you have Camdici and you have Jones. that they just picked up from the New England.
God damn it! Yeah, fucking.
And then you have Honey Badger, who I know he doesn't go by Honey Badger, but
no, he goes by Honey Badger.
Fuck it, he's going by
Honey Badger. Don't give a damn. It's Tyron.
Yeah, but he asked not to be called by that anymore. But people still do it anyways because
It's not gonna fucking matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't Pac-Man Jones ask not to be called Pac-Man?
And they still call him.
Fuck
Pac-Man.
you!
Yeah,
I just called him. He's Pac-Man.
Honey Badger.
Because he doesn't play. Because does he not want to be called the Honey Badger? Because he doesn't play for the Badgers anymore.
No, he just doesn't want that title because he wants to show that he's more mature.
Honey Badger don't give a fuck.
Exactly. So I mean, that guy was a beast last year, and I can only see him getting better with age.
That's what Tyron.
Tyron Matthew.
Is it Matthew?
Yeah,
or is it Matthew or
no,
Matthew?
Matthew.
All right, it's a
Matthew?
weird.
The fuck is that?
It's a weird fucking way to spell Matthew.
Other than Robert Nkemdiche, I don't particularly care for the rest of the picks. They drafted a cornerback in the 3rd round, a center in the 4th, a strong safety in the 5th, as well as an offensive tackle in the 5th, and a cornerback. So I mean, they really focused on defense, which in reality, their defense was not an issue for them last year.
If I recall, their defense was monstrous last year. I think their offense was like. Anytime you played the Cardinals, it's fuck. We're not gonna. Maybe we'll score 3 and win because their offense ain't doing shit. Mm-hmm. Poor Larry Fitz, that machine of a receiver, having nobody to get him the ball.
He's got Palmer.
When he's healthy, when he's doing well.
Who did awesome last year. Palmer had the best numbers he's ever had in the NFL with the Arizona Cardinals last year.
What the fuck happened?
I don't know what turned him around, but I think he had the most touchdowns, the least amount of interceptions, the most yards he's ever thrown, the highest completion percentage. The dude just had an all-around good year with the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, shit. Then they are scary this year.
They are a definite contender. I don't know, Super Bowl contender. I mean, maybe, depending on how the regular season pans out. They're definitely a playoff contender. They're definitely going to disrupt some people's shit.
That's true. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Chandler Jones. The dude was, as far as I can recall, a monster on the Patriots.
He was totally. And
his stats.
I may not like New England, but he had some good stat numbers he put up.
I think his last season, his stats weren't great. But on defense, it's not always necessarily the stats. I mean, like, shit, if you're a good cornerback, you're posting up zeros across the board because they're not throwing in your direction. If anyone's played fantasy football, individual defensive players, they can attest to that. But, like, so hopefully they can turn around. I'm always good for good competition. And hopefully the cards are going to cover that.
Yeah, I think they will. The next team I think we're going to talk about is the former defending Super Bowl champions, the Seattle Seahawks, with not having beast mode or anything like that.
Beast mode officially 100% retired. Fun fact, did you know Mr. Fab from San Francisco is his cousin?
Really?
His first cousin. Yeah, that came alongside the news that Mr. Fab himself reported that Marshawn Lynch is done. 100% done. Yeah. He's not coming back.
Oh, yeah.
He's not going to go back on his word.
The Seahawks, I never know what the fuck they're going to do. And they seem to, they went 2 sides of the ball. They took an offensive guard in the 1st round and then took Jaron Reed, a defensive tackle from Alabama, who was a monster. He's another one of those monster tackles.
Alabama, you can cherry pick some gold out of
Oh, yeah, and they got a steal out of him. They got 3 picks in the 3rd round, 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and 2 in the 7th. So they got a really good stock of players. I know they drafted a running back. Actually, they drafted 2 running backs, Zach Brooks and CJ Prosise. Is that what you said?
Prosciutto?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, sounds delicious.
And then, actually, they took a 3rd one, too. What was the 3rd one? Alex Collins. So they took 3 of them, I guess, to try to make up a lost void. I don't know what they're going to do in that whole deal. But there is Thomas Rawls, if you remember him. He was the guy who filled in for Lynch when he was injured, who played decent. He's not phenomenal, but he did play.
It was his first year filling in for beast mode.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's tough to fill in for a player who has a game plan written around him, and then you have to then fill that gap. So if I recall, he did pretty well considering who he was filling in for.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I think this season will kind of be his defining season, whether that'll show if he is a feature back or if he'll be just kind of.
I mean, the Seahawks don't have an issue when it comes to if you really break it down to offense. It's more of the line, how well it's going to hold together, and how well they're going to get a running back. Because their running game was a big supporter in that. You know, trying to stop Lynch, and then you have Baldwin cutting corners and shit like that.
Baldwin's a monster when he's on.
Yeah, when he's on point.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the O-line had it easy with Marshawn Lynch because you could just assign a guy to Lynch at that point. As the old Barry Sanders mentality. Just, all right, the line has these guys. Lynch is taking this guy with the ball, and he's going to get around him. He's going to go through him. The infamous 11 broken tackles suck my dick play against the Saints. Lynch is always going to be a monster. I wonder though their off-season pickups. Mr. Browner's making a return.
Yeah,
Brandon Browner's coming back, so they can enjoy those.
He had one good season for Seattle, and it was like his rookie season.
Dude's a truck. He's an aggressive player to the point where he was. If I recall, he finished the season the most penalized player in the NFL last year. If it wasn't the most penalized, it was definitely the most yardage. And he was by far past anyone else in terms of yardage. So I liked him when he played for New England. He was an aggressive player, but he drew far too many goddamn penalties. It was ridiculous how many he took. Yeah. It was uncomfortable. It really was.
Next team.
Who we got?
The LA Rams.
The LA Rams.
Well, come back to LA after what, a 20-year hiatus? They go back to LA
after sucking. Well, they were the greatest show on turf in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And then, like a Roman candle, they exploded out of the gate pretty heavy, had some dazzling performances, and then you wonder why your uncle bought them with all that beer. It was just a problem after that.
Oh, it's bad. And they went and drafted Jared Goff, who then Nick Foles put up a stink about that. Which my favorite thing is, like in the words of Daniel Tosh, how much was it? $4.8 million to be a backup? Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Right? Seriously, how pissed off are you gonna be? All right, you're gonna offer me that much money to work out, take zero pressure, tell this guy what to do occasionally.
Yeah. Or after 10 years, we're gonna pay you $850,000 to be on the practice squad. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
I'll do that. Still sign local commercial deals? Are you kidding me? Fuck you, yeah. Yep. For Jeff's car dealership? Absolutely, I'll show up.
I'm going to do that.
Right? Fucking...
I do think Jared Goff he's going to take some molding time. I don't think he's going to be the option right out of the gate. And he might not be the option 3 years from now. The quarterback class was very weak this year. There was really nothing coming out of it, and I don't see anything happen. And, the Rams are a fucking train wreck to begin with.
They've been a train wreck for some time.
That's true. They haven't been relevant. When did they play the New England Super Bowl? 2000,
oh, God.
2002? 2000?
Something like that, yeah. And what was it? Against Warner.
Oh, yeah.
Who is now commentating.
Yeah.
Was that Bledsoe versus Warner, or was that Brady versus Warner? I think it might have been either or at that point. I think Brady was
won.
So it's probably Brady.
Warner played Warner won the Super Bowl. They won against who did they beat? The Oilers at the time?
Jesus, maybe if they beat the Oilers, good lord.
Back when Eddie George was still a player.
Fucking Eddie. What did Eddie George play for the Oilers?
Oh yeah,
I thought he went to the
Titans. We got hit. Well, Titans Oilers same team.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh shit. All right. Well, fuck. Sorry, my football history knowledge. I'm not too deep into the AFL. All right.
That's all I really have to say about the Rams.
Rams, hopefully, from what I recall, they got, who the fuck is that running back there? Todd Gurley. When he's on, they still have him, right?
Yes.
When he's on, dude's fucking on.
Yeah, he is.
He's an animal.
I do agree with that.
And, I forget who they have. They're a solid team. I remember, it was not last season, but the season before, when Bradford Amendola season.
Oh, man.
Bradford, Mr. Glass, who played 3 games, when they were running it well. Which, just quick history note: have you seen my favorite punt return play of all fucking time? Have you seen that?
I don't think so.
So I don't know who the Rams were playing at the time, but who they were playing punted the ball. They had most of the squad go to one side of the field and look like they were catching the ball. they had another dude on the opposite side of the field that actually caught it.
Oh,
no one noticed
because
the entire punting team isn't looking at the ball. They're looking at who's going to go catch it, and they're swarming on that guy. Mind you, now 11 players are not looking at some guy on the opposite end of the field. I'm pretty sure he ran it back for a touchdown because nobody was paying attention. It was absolutely beautiful. I'm not sure how exactly this is gonna work.
No, it's not. We can upload that.
Well, we can't upload it, but like, if we can post a link to wherever it's hosted, hopefully we can do that.
Out.
If not, just Google Rams punt return. I'm sure it's gonna be the top result. But now we're gonna move on to
another dumpster fire.
My favorite team in the NFL, because I love the longest yard, and I cannot wait to see which prison is gonna have the best football team. That's right, if you haven't caught on by now, we are talking about the Niners. The fucking San Francisco Niners. The best of the Bay.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
No, they're the best of the Bay.
Considering Oakland?
Yep. Like, if San Francisco's not the best of the Bay, Oakland's going to shank them. I think Oakland's a day.
So for those of you that are listening that aren't from New Hampshire, and you know that are 49ers fans, enjoy fucking Chip Kelly.
Good luck. He took the Eagles, who were doing well, got DeMarco fucking Murray, got probably one of the best backfields I've ever seen on paper, and made sure they stayed the best on paper. He didn't do a goddamn thing. He had so much promise. Everyone here in New England was rooting for the guy, and if for all you aeronautic fans out there, he did the equivalent of taking the stick and just jamming it forward and made sure he crashed into a blaze of glory that you'd see on the horizon.
I'm more a fan of the fact he did that no-huddle rapid offense and basically killed his own team with it. Basically, that's what happened there. But, I mean, on the 49ers conversation real quick to go over there, they took a defensive end and an offensive guard in the first round, 7th and 28 overall, respectively. They took a cornerback in the third, a cornerback in the fourth. So I don't know why they took back-to-back cornerbacks, but whatever. They took a defensive end, an offensive tackle, and an offensive tackle. So they took 2 offensive tackles and a defensive end in the 5th round. They took a quarterback, a running back, and a wide receiver, and then took a cornerback. So they've taken 3 cornerbacks in this draft, 2 offensive tackles. They went all over the place for this this roster. And these rookies could go either way on this. They can either going to be really great or they're going to be a bust when it comes to their play styles. The most surprising pick that's been rated was Joshua Garnett, taken the 28th overall out of Stanford. It's hard, as Garnett would probably have dropped into the 2nd round. But they went up and snagged him early, which was a little weird, but I guess they see something in him that they need, and who knows? I mean, there's a lot of players that are taken by surprise that wind up doing fucking amazing, and there's players that suck a lot of ass. Usually it's the second one.
So, let's see. What are the Niners? Do the Niners have Blaine Gabbert right now?
Yeah, Blaine Gabbert and
fucking Cap.
Cap, yeah, and apparently they both have the same play style.
Great. So San Francisco went, all right, we'll take another guy because we think Kaepernick might go. Oh, Kaepernick's not going anywhere? Now we have a fucking carbon copy of the guy we didn't want to keep? Mm-hmm. Well, shit. And let's just give, me personally, I'm kind of bummed that Jared Hayne decided to retire. I mean, no one else cares, but I gotta air my piece on this.
Here we go.
So, it's not gonna be long, go fuck yourself, but Jared Hayne,
if you have to go to the bathroom, grab a drink, now's the time to do it.
God damn it, I need to grab a drink. But anyway, I will explain my fascination with Jared Hayne aside from his rippling.
Now's the time to do it.
Aside from his rippling pecs. So Jared Hayne, rugby star from Australia.
Mate.
He did damn well. I cannot rattle off rugby stats because I don't know.
Who the fuck watches rugby?
Australians.
Oh.
That's it.
Crikey.
That's right. Crocodile Dundee watches rugby. Crocodile Dundee and Russell Crowe watch rugby. Anyway, she was a rugby star that came to the NFL. He was a third string running back for the Niners. Did
Kickoff returns.
Did kickoff returns. Basically fumbled one, got benched, then retired. I liked the guy for how much potential he had, but he decided to retire.
Yeah, he had so much.
Yeah, he had potential. He didn't do a damn thing with it, but he had potential.
He potentially did things.
That's right. There's a lot of potential
to
potentially do things and potential energy and blah, 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 blah.
He could potentially be a millionaire.
He could. I think he would be in rugby. An Australian dollar, so I'm pretty sure that's enough to get you a Happy Meal. But but what they do have is a mangled skill position set. They got the best receiver right now is who? Anquan Bolden. Oh no, they lost Anquan Bolden. Shit. And they their best player, Carlos Hyde, is broken. his foot's still fucked up. Dude can't really. I mean.
Yeah, so they take a wide receiver in the 6th round.
Yeah. So again, for those of you who haven't been paying attention to Philly's collapse, which we talked about last week, Chip Kelly's, I don't know, he's not building the right spots. He has two mediocre at best quarterbacks. They lost Anquan Bolden. They got a broken running back.
Him. He's a free agent.
So they should pick him back up. They need the Q. All right? They need the Q to get the A because they have no answers for this team right now.
I mean, he had 1,700 yards, 1,000 yards, and then 789 yards with them. And that was 789 yards with Kaepernick, who couldn't throw the fucking ball in the right direction.
Right. So, I mean, Bolden is not a bad receiver by any fucking means. I think they should pick him back up. I mean, they won't because they've already gone too long. It's going to look a little desperate at this point. Yeah. Maybe they can go to his house, hold a boombox on the lawn, and hope for the best. But I think somebody should pick up Bolden.
They got Eric Rodgers.
Who the fuck's Eric Rodgers?
Exactly.
Fucking Eric Rodgers, the savior of the Bay. The Bavier.
Eric Rodgers used to play for the Calgary Stampeders up in the CFL. He was an all-star for the CFL.
The CFL, we're kicking it 4 times in one play is legal.
Hey, think about it. Think of one of the defenders that have come out of the CFL recently. Mr. Cameron Wake himself. I'm pretty sure the dude gets better with fucking age.
Okay.
So I can't wait to talk about him in a few weeks.
Yeah, well, we're both going to have some interesting points in a few weeks.
That'll be the most interesting podcast we do.
It really will. That's going to be the whole thing.
I think the mic might just mute in the middle of the conversation.
The mic just might.
It might just mute right in the middle of the conversation.
Jesus Christ. Well, now's a good time to talk about the beer, I guess. We'll take
another one. Go get me a beer.
You don't have another one of those.
Oh, yeah. Go to my truck. Go get me a beer.
I'm not going to your truck to get your beer.
God, you're useless.
Well, so how's the beer you've been drinking?
It's okay. I wanted a puff, though.
That's your whole review on the beer so far. It's okay. Fuck you. That's okay. Now they had another sip because you apparently forgot what the entire bottle tasted like.
I want another puff.
God damn it. Fine.
Atta girl.
I'm getting me one. I'm not getting you one.
Hurry up. We don't got time for this. There's a podcast brewing. I guess, when you think about it, as I sit here and ponder life's ponderings, yeah. That's all I got. Phone.
I'm not proud that I had to go grab you a goddamn beer.
Nah, I'm proud.
Go fuck yourself.
Damn! Yeah.
Fucking alright, so how was your whatever the fuck that
It actually was very good.
Was
not as good as your fucking horrible chili beer, but
oh my god. Oh, sweet Jesus, what? I gotta put that one on blast right now. So, for those of you who don't know, and I'm not sure any of you would be at this point. I pick beer based off its name and its weirdness. So today, while we were picking up the booze for the podcast, I decided to go with a beer by Ballast Point called Wahoo with Thai chili. It might not be the Wahoo wheat, I think. I don't fucking know. I don't really care what the name is at this point. It was fucking terrible.
Oh my god. That's fucking delicious.
All right. So we'll get to that in a minute.
Oh my god.
Hold your goddamn horses. I gotta talk about how terrible this beer was. So I had the Wahoo wheat, which I had intended to drink during this podcast.
Oh my god.
However, while Nick is blowing a load in his plaid shorts...
this beer is so good.
Oh god, I wish I could have fucking seen what the food pairings were for this thing. And I wouldn't have bought it. So, the Wahoo wheat is made with Thai chili, lime, and ginger. Now, one of those three things made it absolutely terrible.
It's a fucking chili.
It was so. The first taste you got was a good sweet citrus. That wasn't bad. When it first hit your tongue, it was pretty good. Right? It was lime. It was pretty tasty actually. I liked it. So it was definitely a sweeter style beer. It was good until you decided to exist past the first sip.
Which we all did.
And then the chili, yeah, four of us tried it, and everyone... Now, so Nick here immediately fucking hated it, which I appreciated. Two of the guys tried it, said it was okay, and then admitted it was absolutely fucking terrible. So the aftertaste of the chili, at least for me, Nick, it kind of sat on my tongue, and then somehow made its way to my throat and just burned there for far too long, which was just no good. I don't recommend it. And so, Nick, the food pairings, I'll go from the bottom up because I can pronounce these ones. Food pairings, it goes well with cantaloupe.
I can see that.
It goes well with lemon cupcakes, which actually might be pretty fucking tasty. But I feel right drinking beer with cupcakes.
Yeah, no.
And then I'm not even 100% sure how to pronounce this. It's whitefish... Ceviche?
Whitefish.
Whitefish. No. Maybe, actually.
This chair creaks a lot.
It does. It's because you're large.
That's true.
Putting a lot of weight on it.
This chair is not designed for anybody over 60 pounds.
That's right. We've tested that thoroughly. So the Ballast Point Wahoo wheat is no good. However,
this beer is incredible.
The Sixpoint Puff is
amazing.
It would scream from the rooftops if we could get on the rooftop. But
I could. I'll figure out a fucking way. Don't you fucking.
Okay, so check our YouTube channel for the video of Nick screaming about beer and falling off a rooftop.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
No, this one's good. I'm generally not a fan of IPAs a whole lot myself, but it starts off a little bitter, a little hoppy. But
I like this more than resin. And basically all this beer is, from what I'm understanding from the can, is basically it's resin that's just not filtered. It's straight from the tank and then dry hopped one last time before it goes in.
I love to dry hop or hump.
Both.
I'll dry hump this beer. It's wet. I can't.
Oh, because you already did.
Well. Oh boy. Ooh, this is uncomfortable.
Where's that Thai chili beer? Bring that fucking thing out again.
I would, if I didn't already dump it all.
Oh man, that's.
To be fair, if I kept it out, it would have then been warm.
You'd have to pay a child support.
What?
Huh?
I don't know what that means.
All right, next talk. Here we go.
What we got?
We're gonna talk about Mr. Amish Rifle.
Oh God! Wait.
No.
What?
Yes, because the other one is too confusing on what that whole fucking thing was about, and so we're gonna talk about the Amish Rifle, which is just as fucking confusing. Apparently, the Jets offered him a deal. He said, go fuck yourself. Here's my deal. They said, go fuck yourself. Offered him another deal.
So
he said, here's another deal. And basically a lot of go fuck yourself.
So
which seems to be the Jets' MO for the life of their team.
So who do the Jets have at starting quarterback right now?
Geno Smith.
You mean the man who got his jaw broken over like $200 last season?
Yes.
So quick backstory. Do you remember the guy's name that punched him?
Big Brother Thunder.
Butt Naked Wanda.
And the Master Blaster.
If anyone wants to Google that and appreciate what we're getting that from. So for those of you who don't know, a quick backstory. Last season, Geno Smith it wasn't even a bet. It was
$600.
He had loaned $600 to a teammate,
and he was punched by IK and M. Capali.
That's right. So he loaned a teammate $600. I believe it was for like a charity event of some sort or something a good cause. Oh, I hope. So they got in an argument about it, and IK punched Geno Smith in the offseason and broke his jaw. Which, if I recall, put him out for the entire season, right? I cannot make this up.
And then the Bills took the guy who punched him.
So, again, if you guys aren't familiar, Rex Ryan was the coach for the Jets for a while. He ended up going to the Buffalo Bills as the head coach. IK Empanada punched Geno Smith, broke his jaw. Before the season started, Rex Ryan then took IK and signed him to the team, and if I recall, released him not too long after.
No, he still plays.
Does he really still play? Yeah, I thought he got released.
Not only did he take him, the first game the Bills played the Jets, he made him a team captain.
So, I might not be a huge fan of Rex Ryan, him and his weird foot thing.
Yeah.
But Rex Ryan is absolutely phenomenal at trolling other teams.
Oh, totally, it's bad.
With putting team captains out there. So he put IK out there as a team captain. So I'll explain to everybody. Oh God, Jesus Christ! So I'll explain to everybody exactly what the team captains really means. I hope not. What team captains means in the NFL. So when you select a team captain. Basically, I mean, you have your internal team captains who are the leaders of the team, all that fun stuff.
Are you really telling this story?
I am. So...
Oh my God, it's fucking turned into a lecture.
I'm not telling a whole story. So, team captain, basically they go up for the coin toss. And they face, I don't know, it's generally 4 or 5 players, generally.
This is 30 seconds, no one is going to get back.
God damn. It's almost like we can fast forward through it.
Thank God. Skip to whatever is faster than this.
So Rex Ryan always puts up, if a team has a shitty history with a player they have, Rex Ryan always puts up their player. It's why he put IK up against the Jets, and other references you could probably Google. Because I don't know any offhand. I wasn't prepared for this.
So as we go back to the Jets talk here, my favorite thing is the fact that they have, whatever his name is, Fitz on this whole thing. You have Marshall and Decker missing OTAs. Who say it's not because Fitzgerald is getting, or not Fitzgerald, Fitzpatrick. There you go.
Easy there, Cauldron. All right.
Yeah, I had a burp coming.
Keep bubbling, you'll be fine.
They said it wasn't because Fitzpatrick's contract negotiations, but in reality, it's like, no, it was. In my opinion, I think it was, especially when they, especially considering it was the contract negotiations. I mean, it's a weird time. These contract negotiations are going through. Decker and Marshall are like, hey, we're going to stop playing right now, but it's not because of Fitzpatrick. It's just because, we're not going to play right now.
Yeah, so Marshall, so they have their best receivers are going, nah, we're not doing it anymore. So, who is their backup? Do they have a plan for
Geno Smith.
Oh, yeah, let's pretend we didn't, let's pretend we talked about that already. So, their backup is a guy that was decent 2 years ago.
No, he was decent in West Virginia, kind of, and was expected to go in the first round and didn't get drafted till the end of the second round.
When I say decent, I'm comparing him
But never mind, actually, he got drafted in the first, he was the first pick in the second round, I think.
So when I say decent, I'm comparing him to Jets-era Mark Sanchez. Mr. Butt Fumble.
Yeah, who I think, but at the same time, he was the same guy that got the Jets to the AFC Championship twice in a row.
Sanchez?
Yeah. So I have to give him some credit.
I mean, he's the most polarizing character I can think of in the NFL, who does not spectacular, but does pretty well and unbelievably awful at the same time.
Despite
his terribleness.
Yeah.
He had. I mean, I want him to do well, but when you hold ESPN's not top 10 play for a record amount of weeks and they have to retire that play because it's been winning so often, that's a tough persona to shake.
That's true. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about, which is my favorite, and we're finally introducing it.
Violence!
It might stick. It's only going to be once a month, unfortunately. Maybe twice a month, depending on what the cards are going to be or anything like that. But we are going to talk UFC. We are going to talk the Ultimate Fighting Championship. And we're going to talk the results of grown men wrestling around, punching each other in the goddamn motherfucking face.
Hashtag no homo.
Yeah, well...
Maybe.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's slight.
A little bit. So
we're talking about UFC 199.
Yeah.
Rockhold versus Bisping. Which was a surprising card that I'm upset I didn't get. Mainly because I already had the outcome planned in my head, and obviously that did not go the way I thought it would go.
Did you think Bisping was going to knock Rockhold out in the first fucking round?
I didn't. I really
Nobody thought that. That was insane. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest Bisping fan. I think
I like him.
I mean,
although he did have that one fight with Dan Henderson where he got knocked out and then got punched so hard the second time. I thought he would get up.
He got hit so hard his citizenship was removed. Like, that was... Good Lord, no one's going to forget that. I didn't feel bad bringing it up because of how amazing it was.
It was the most brutal knockout I've probably
Hendo
seen.
knew he was out, left his feet, and punched his head through the crust of the earth so he could see England again and go, fuck, spring back and go, I'm still unconscious.
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus.
So let's start from the top. One of the fights that I thought was pretty impressive. Was the Brian Ortega versus Clay Guida, which was on the preliminary.
Knee. I love me some Clay Guida.
Yeah, but he got knocked out.
I know, but
straight knee to the head.
He might be one of my favorite fighters. And just Google most of Clay Guida's fights, except a small handful.
Well, another fight that I was surprised about too was the strawweight fight between Jessica, Andrade versus Jessica Penne. Penne was an Invicta monster. I mean, she did very well in Invicta. And she got the shit kicked out of her that fight. Like she got beat.
Round 2 in the final minutes of the second round.
Yeah, she got beat. Yeah, I was really surprised about that. You know, for those two fights, mainly in particular for the undercard, I was surprised. But main card time.
Let's talk
Dustin Poirier versus Bobby Green. Knocked out. So Dustin Poirier knocked out Bobby Green in the first round with punches. Just straight dropped him. 2:53 into the first round.
That's just handling the dude.
Oh, beat the shit out of him.
And one of my favorite stories of this round. My fucking Hendo.
My favorite fight of the night is Dan Henderson versus Hector Lombard. Hector Lombard all day long should have won the fight based on projections in the beginning of the fight. I mean, he's younger.
38. Hector Lombard, 38. Dan Henderson, 45 years old.
Okay, so Hector
knocked him the fuck out.
Yeah, well, he head kicked him.
No, elbow.
But he finished the head kick first. I know it was the elbow, but he did throw the head kick first. And that's what dropped him.
Dan Henderson might be replacing, in my book anyway, Randy Couture. Because Randy Couture retired at 40, didn't he?
No, he was old. He was...
older. Let's appreciate 40, 45 is still...
ice age of...
in UFC terms, anyway. Got fucking Dan Henderson. I mean, everyone was kind of skeptical on if Hendo could continue a career in the UFC at his age and his track record.
Randy was, 5 years ago, he's 52 now, so 47.
Hendo could do it. I mean, they were, it might have something to do with the fact they were training partners.
Well, we don't know what he's going to do. He said in the interview at the end, he said it could be his last fight. He could have another one.
I mean, as much as, it's interesting from just not necessarily an outsider perspective, well, obviously an outsider perspective, but a fan perspective, you want people to retire on a high note, but they think, fuck yeah, I just murdered this dude.
Well, I mean, Henderson's had some of the best fights I've ever seen. So he had Hector Lombard. He beat the shit out of him. He knocked out Tim Boach 28 seconds into the first round.
Jesus.
Mauricio Shogun Hua, he knocked him out. Technical knockout.
How long ago was that?
Shogun?
Yeah.
That was 2014.
2 years ago. So he was still 43 when he knocked out Shogun.
Yeah, went the distance with Shogun. Mauricio Shogun Hua's fight was incredible. Henderson caught him in the face and relocated his fucking nose next to his ear. I mean, the nose was gone. It went the distance. It was the 2011 fight of the year. And fight of the night. They beat the shit out of each other. But I just remember the punch coming through and seeing Shogun's nose be face on and then fucking wind up by his ear.
Like a Ubisoft glitch. It was
it was bad. Think about it. He knocked out Fedor.
Hendo did?
Yes. Knocked him out.
Hold the fucking phone.
It was a technical knockout in the first round in Strikeforce. Knocked him out.
No.
Yep.
I don't even believe you.
Oh, yeah.
He did not knock out Fedor.
Yeah, Fedor Emelianenko. July 30th, 2011, in the first round, knocked out Fedor. Michael Bisping knocked him out in the second round. Knockout of the night. 2009 knockout of the year. It's actually considered one of the greatest knockouts of all time.
Which one?
The Michael Bisping.
Oh, yes.
Wanderlei knocked him out in the third round.
Jesus Christ. So when was this his UFC career? So when did
you know it's another good fight too? So Hendo went 9-0 before he lost to Wanderlei Silva by decision. In December 23rd of 2000. In 2001, he came back to Pride, knocked out Renzo Gracie in the first round. Dropped him like a bad habit.
Dude's MMA career, his first professional MMA fight was June 15th, 1997. How was kindergarten during Hendo's first fight?
It was great.
Right? Like first grade, I think, at that point. My juice box was on point.
Unfortunately, the only person that really has his number is Vitor Belfort. Although Henderson went the distance with Vitor, the next two fights, Vitor knocked him out with a head kick, and then again knocked him out with a head kick and punches.
I don't know. I mean, Belfort, beat him with a head kick, beat him with a head kick and punch. I mean, Belfort and Nog. He has not beat a Nog or Belfort yet. Fucking Brazilians, man.
Yeah, man.
He cannot beat a... So, is Shogun... Shogun's Japan, so... I don't know, man. UFC 100. Michael Bisping. So he hit him, knocked him out. Bisping is on the ground.
Out cold, unconscious.
Hendo knew. I think he admitted this later in interviews.
I knew he was out.
So Hendo just did not like him to the point where Bisping is on the ground. Henderson jumps, punches him in the face with the strength of 1,000 suns at this point.
Oh my god! And a collapsing moon.
Oh my god! With 1,000 suns and the moon from fucking Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Fucking, you have three. Oh god! God, I think he murdered the dude. Then I think he's the only person ever on file to unmurder somebody.
Yeah, man, that punch was fucking brutal.
Christ Almighty! So
the other two fights, real quick, that we're gonna skip over because I don't really give a shit about is Max Holloway and Ricardo Lamas.
Because they were decisions. Whatever.
Dominic Cruz versus Uriah Faber. Oh no, Uriah lost another championship fight in fucking UFC. What was that? Like his seventh?
I mean, I want to like Uriah. So as a person, as a general human being, Uriah seems like a cool ass dude. But as a fighter, dude, is he the California kid? Right? Yeah. The California kid.
Yes, because I was thinking of the Huntington Beach bad boy. That was Tito Ortiz.
Right, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. So Faber was Strikeforce. He was amazing in Strikeforce. Yeah. Then when UFC bought Strikeforce and there was competition, Faber faded pretty fucking quickly.
So Faber does awesome in his non-championship fights.
He earned a championship fight for a reason, but he got handled. No, well, he lost by decision, so he at least went the distance, but he didn't really win a single round. He won one round, according to the judges. So the judges gave it 50-45, 50-45, 49-46 Cruz. So it was pretty unanimous anyway. So, now that we've talked about this gentleman being knocked back to the fucking United Kingdom, I'm
pretty sure he speaks Chinese now fluently.
Right? I'm personally not a huge fan of Bisping, but god damn it, respect where respect is due.
Yeah.
The first fucking round at 336, Bisping, the new middleweight champion, just handling Luke Rockhold.
On a side note of that, Rockhold fought that fight, essentially. His hands were low, man. He never had him up high, kept him down low, left his guard down, and, he just went for that punch. Bisping changed it, caught him with the right hook, or the left hook, actually, dropped him, and then just laid into him until Big John stopped it.
So, Rockhold, for his record, for those who don't know, is now 15-3.
Yep.
Being Bisping recently on the 4th of June. Last loss coming from Vitor Belfort, who is just an animal when it comes to stand-up when he's not on roids. On May 18th of 2013. Then the loss before that, holy shit, coming from Tony Rubalcava from November 6th of 2007 from punches from TKO. He's been an absolute animal and got dropped by Michael Bisping. Now, to win the title, he beat Chris Weidman via TKO in the 4th round.
Yeah.
So he just dropped Chris Weidman and he won. And then in the 4th round and got demolished by Bisping in the 1st.
Oh yeah, dropped.
So I might hop on the bandwagon. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I might hop on the Bisping bandwagon. I might start drinking tea. I'm going to try to find where to get crumpets, maybe some bangers and mash, and hopefully not get punched. That's sausage and potatoes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Glad we got that out of the fucking bag.
Because you're looking at me like I was about to go down to an establishment and pick up some gentlemen.
You still might.
Moving on. Yeah.
Let's talk about this next.
Oh, Jesus.
Because I really want to get this in now that we talked about UFC 199.
That's true. We got to squeeze
There's
in
a fight night that features Dos Anjos versus Eddie Alvarez.
Ooh. So the rest of
Eddie Alvarez.
I think the rest of the show at this point is just going to be UFC and shenanigans.
And then Joanna Jędrzejczyk fights
bless you.
Again to put that title up against the line in the strawweight division. She's a monster, so I don't expect her to lose that title. My favorite card of probably all time in a long time. They've really done themselves. UFC 200, which a lot of these fights are potential title fights. You have Daniel Cormier versus the interim champion John Jones.
Yes.
Brock Lesnar versus Mark Hunt, which is just going to be a fucking battle.
Really?
I do see Lesnar getting the shit kicked out of him because it's been so long since he's been in the octagon.
I think they're just going to stand and bang at this point. Yeah, they're going to fuck each other standing up. No, I mean, Mark Hunt and Lesnar.
I think Mark Hunt's going to knock out Lesnar.
I don't think that's true. I want him to. I don't like Lesnar. Dude seems like a douchebag.
I think he is.
I don't like saying that on the podcast, but I mean, Lesnar seems like a great guy because I don't want him to murder my family. But so I don't know. Lesnar, as much as I don't like the guy, dude is a savage in MMA and the UFC in the MMA. But he retired for a little while. Like, I don't know. He's a good wrestler. He's a championship winning wrestler in college.
Yep. A championship WWE wrestler, like that means anything.
He got a title shot 2 fights into the UFC, so it was a little fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm still pissed off about that. He lost to Frank Mir pretty fucking quickly because he didn't know how to wrestle.
They beat Randy Couture.
Yeah, he beat Randy Couture because he was twice his fucking size.
Sure.
Randy Couture is on record of having an interview saying it's hard to dodge those fucking ham hocks. Of course he got caught. God, just watch the fight. It's hilarious, the different sizes. But in Lesnar's defense, the dude is a phenomenal wrestler, and he's pushing Because is it 255 the limit is, or is it 265 the
Well,
weigh-in
to be
at?
fair, so Brock Lesnar beat Randy Couture, beat Frank Mir, beat Shane Carwin, all for title fights.
Shane Carwin was basically good for the same reason Lesnar's good, because he's fucking massive.
So he beat him, and then Cain Velasquez beat Brock Lesnar, and then Alistair Overeem beat Brock.
Because they both know what they're doing.
They just fucking threw a bunch of punches, and Brock,
So,
Brock just came off that, was it diverticulitis or whatever the hell it was?
No, he retired because of that.
Yeah, but he had it to begin with, and that's what caused the early retirement.
I don't know. I'm excited for the new fight because Mark Hunt's a fucking beast. Dude's has in the famous words of Joe Rogan describing Nog, Mark Hunt has a head like a canoe. Like he can take a punch. I'm pretty sure you can hit him with a fucking pickup truck and he's fine. Don't do that, by the way. If you see Mark Hunt driving around, don't run him over, please, people. But Cormier versus Jones he's like not even my favorite fight coming up, but those two are my favorite matchup in the UFC right now. Jones, who, if you recall, never lost a fight to lose his title. He was fucking dumb. Did some cocaine, recreational cocaine, and he didn't get stripped of that, if I recall. He got caught with cocaine, didn't get stripped of his title. Then there was a hit and run he had where he just abandoned his vehicle, which had, I believe, cocaine and a fuck ton of money in it. Mm-hmm. And he was suspended for a year, a little over a year.
Something like that, yeah.
And then the title was vacated because he wasn't going to be fighting. And Cormier won that title, I don't recall against who at the moment. So now Jones is the interim champion, who he believes, and I agree, he never lost that title to Cormier. He just lost the title in general. Cormier, in my opinion, never earned the title, but he got the title. So now
he beat
No,
Rumble.
I know.
He beat Rumble for it. So
he beat Johnson. I get it. I mean, he won the fight to get the title, but to me, he never beat the champion. So he never earned that title. Now, maybe he'll prove me wrong. Maybe he'll beat Jones, who I think is the legitimate title holder, because he never lost a title in competition. He lost the title because he's fucking stupid. I'm a fan of Jones. I love his fighting style due to some weird shit. I think one of his losses I still think is bullshit because he lost via vertical elbows against I forget his name.
I don't remember that.
The deaf guy. I don't think that's offensive. I don't know. He was deaf. He was a good fighter, but he was throwing, when he was mounted on top, throwing 12 to 6 elbows. How
do you give fighter advice to a deaf guy?
That was kind of the whole thing.
Go low, go. Oh, you can't fucking.
I think that's about it. I don't know. But I think Chewbacca is the best corner man for that guy. I'm going to hell on the maglev. But so I'm excited for the Cormier Jones fight. I think Jones will handle Cormier, is my prediction. This whole fight is just fucking massive. So fucking, and let's give my favorite throwback fight of the night is Diego Sanchez versus Joe Lozon.
Yeah.
I love Joe Lozon.
Ultimate Fighter 1 winner and former lightweight title challenger Diego Sanchez.
Diego never had the title? Wow. They're both the Ultimate Fighter at some point.
Yeah.
Were they the same season?
Yeah, but no, Joe was in the first season. I think Diego was after that.
Well, Joe won the first season, didn't he?
Yeah.
Was Diego in that season, though?
I don't think so.
Maybe he didn't win. I don't know. Joe Lozon, I love me some Joe Lozon. He's fantastic. So just to break down the card for you, because we should fucking have this up before the card happens. So the main event is Daniel Cormier, whichever you want to call it, versus John Jones for the light heavyweight title.
Yeah.
A heavyweight fight being Brock fucking Lesnar
which we established next
versus Mark the Super Samoan Hunt. The women's bantamweight championship fight.
His nickname should be Mike.
Mike Hunt?
Mike Hunt.
Mike Hunt, yeah. Make Bruce Buffer sound fucking retarded. And now, in the blue corner.
Why blue?
Because fuck you. We have Mike Hunt. Actually.
See? It sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Go fuck yourself. You dick.
If Bruce Buffer screams Mike Hunt.
There you go. Misha Cupcake Tate versus Amanda Nunes.
Which, my favorite nickname, one of top 10 favorite nicknames in the UFC is Cupcake.
No, man. Andre Touchy Feely.
I said top 10, all right? She's in the top 10, easily.
Or Uncle Creepy.
Uncle Creepy's like top 2.
Yeah.
I think it's Uncle Creepy and Touchy Feely are the best ones.
Jose Aldo versus Frankie Edgar.
Oh, I cannot wait for that
Cain
one.
Velasquez versus Travis Brown.
Heavyweights.
Fucking battle.
Just sluggers.
Kat Zingano versus Juliana Pena. Johnny Hendricks. Was Johnny Big Rig Hendricks versus Kevin Gastium. TJ Dillashaw versus Rafael Asucano. Whatever. Rafael Ass. Sage Northcutt, who is an awesome fighter. I really like Sage.
He is really skyrocketing through the ranks, and I'm pretty sure he's getting more popular off his front flip?
Yeah.
After his post-fight front flip, which is amazing.
Versus Enrique Marin. Gagard Musawi versus Derek Brunson.
Musasi is amazing.
Yeah. Diego Sanchez versus Big Joe.
Yeah.
And Jim Miller versus Takanori Gomi.
Takanori Gomi.
So that guy will fucking fight anybody.
So, quick little fun fact. The only now 2 people who have ever fought in UFC 100 and UFC 200 are John Jones and Brock Lesnar. They fought, for a while, John Jones wanted to take this fight because he fought pretty fucking recently on his comeback tour here. Yep. After being suspended. He wanted to come back to be the only person to fight on UFC 100 and UFC 200. And now that they brought Brock Lesnar back, because now he's fighting in, I think, every 100 UFC events. God. Yeah, it's gonna be a fight for the ages. Sunday. Christ almighty, I cannot wait for that fight.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
So. Good Lord. All right, so we've talked about a lot of things today. Talked about a lot of beer. So, I mean, you had your first orgasmic sip of the
this
6
shit is
point
fucking incredible.
The 6-point Puff. I know you're a huge fan of IPAs to begin with anyway, so I mean if anything said IPA you're gonna like it anyway.
Yeah, it's delicious.
I mean, again, admittedly I'm not a huge fan of IPAs.
Yeah, well you're a bitch.
That's just rude.
Yeah, well so sorry, surprise.
I know, I didn't see that coming. That's hopefully the creaking of the shadow. Oh, the mic totally catches that. I don't know. I really like the Puff. It's potent. For those interested, it's sold in a 4-pack, which is probably smart.
It's 10%. Well, close to it.
Specifically 9.8, but who's counting for drinking beer? I think you were saying it was technically their 420 brand there.
Well, kind of. That's how they advertised it.
You know what? No, well, I'll put a picture on the Instagram there. So if those of you who aren't following the Burning Ape Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, or do we have a Friendster? Do we have a Friendster account?
Do we need one?
Friendster still exists? I really want to set up a Burning Ape MySpace account. Just to have it there to see who is that dedicated. But no, we have the all our links and all that. If you need to find us on social media, we're pretty much everywhere. We'll be uploading kind of just quick snippets if there's quick news or anything like that. Either Nick or myself will be uploading videos to our Instagram, which I believe should be pushing to our Twitter as well as our Facebook page. In theory. But as you've heard so far, I don't know how well that's gonna work. But this has been the Burning Ape. My name's Tyler.
I'm Nick.
And we appreciate you listening to the whole thing, and thank you very much for listening. And we bid you adieu.
And make sure to send your hate mail to theburningape@gmail.com.
That's right.
I love reading that shit. Once we get that shit, we will read it.
Right. We'll read it on a show. If it's entertaining, I don't care if it's mean.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't care if it's mean as shit. Make it entertaining.
That's fair.
Yeah. If anyone mentions their guerrilla warfare marine style fighting, though, go fuck yourself. It's been overdone. I don't care. But send some stuff at theburningape@gmail.com. Send any of your correspondence to that. We will read it. Fuck it. We'll read it. We'll read it for the first time live on the show, and we'll figure out what's going on there. But signing off, Burning Ape. Goodbye.